What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're jumping in with an in-depth roadmap for Into the Light. And so in this video we're going to go into quite a bit of detail about when all of the content is going to be dropping in this update. That includes the rollout of Brave weapons, and yes, new ones are going to be added every week. But we'll also break down when all of the exotics will become available, craftable exotic upgrades, the Onslaught rotation, and other key unlocks for the update like the Super Black shader. Plus we'll break down all of the weeks for Pantheon, the rollout of different challenges there, the introduction of new PvP maps, the Outbreak Perfected rollout, and even dates when loot from this season will be available for the final time. So if you want a detailed look on exactly when content becomes available in the update, then hopefully the video will be helpful today. If it is, then be sure to get subscribed to the channel so I can keep you posted with more Destiny content. And now, let's get into it. And so firstly, looking at Bungie's official roadmap right here, of course, Onslaught is available, and the rollout of the Brave arsenal of weapons has begun. In relation to Onslaught, it's worth pointing out, there is a 3-week rotation for the bosses in that mode, so for the next 2 resets, we'll get access to a new boss, and that's especially useful if you're completing triumphs for the title, for example. But looking to the rollout of weapons, we've had the first 9 in the launch week for the update, and then moving forward, we'll get access to 2 more on a weekly basis. So starting on April 16th, the Mountaintop and Midnight Coup will be added. And of course, that means that our side will have their weekly weapon quests, and that they'll ultimately be unlocked into the loot pool as random drops. Plus, we'll be able to attune for them. So that's something to look out for on the next weekly reset. But also on April 16th, we'll get the second upgrade quest for Whisper of the Worm, and that will unlock the No Distractions perk for the weapon. And then moving up to April 23rd, from the Brave set of weapons, Hammerhead and the Forbearance will be added. So once again, that means our site will have the quests for the weapons, and they'll be introduced into the attunement and the random drop pool. But April 23rd will also see the final upgrade for Whisper of the Worm drop in the form of Enlightened Action. And finally, for weapon rollout, moving up to April 30th, Blast Furnace and Luna's Howl will become available, so that'll be another good week. But in that week, we'll also see the return of Iron Banner for the final time in the season. And with us approaching the final shape, of course, Bungie will be removing certain pieces of gear from the loot rotation, and for Iron Banner, that includes Joram's Claw, the Bite of the Fox, Pressurized Precision, and Swarm of the Raven. And April 30th will be the last week where those are able to drop for a considerable period of time. So keep that in mind, but also April will see the final drops for Braytech Osprey, which is dropping this week from the Nightfall, and on April 23rd, Loaded Question will be featured in the Nightfall, and beyond those dates, those weapons will no longer drop. We should add for Trials of Osiris, the Cataphract GL3 will drop on April 23rd for the final time. Then for the Messenger Pulse Rifle, May 14th will be the final week, and Igneous Hammer will drop for the final time on May 21st. So worth highlighting those weapons as well. And then moving up to activities here, on April 30th, a couple of things will happen. Firstly, we'll get access to the Super Black shader, and the requirements for that are to rank up and reset Lord Shaxx, but also to complete all of our site's weapon quests. So with April 30th being the final week where we get new weapon quests, Super Black should also become available. But in that week, we'll also get access to Pantheon, Bungie's new raid boss gauntlet. There'll be a 4-week rollout right there. On the first week, we can fight 4 bosses and unlock the Atrax Dethroned emblem. And on the second week, we'll be able to defeat 5 bosses and get the Exalted Beyond Oryx emblem. Week 3 will see 6 bosses featured, with the Rorke Subdued emblem drop in. And the final week will give us 8 bosses, with the Elevated Above Nezarec emblem drop in. And each week, the difficulty of those will scale. Plus, there'll be a couple of additional quests in there, such as Divine Weaponry, and the completion of this quest will grant us access to raid exotic selection at our site, where there'll be a couple of opportunities for us to directly pick up a raid exotic weapon. So that's pretty awesome, and additionally, our site will have access to the full inventories for the selected raids, where we'll be able to purchase pieces of gear for 20 Spoils of Conquest. So gonna be some pretty exciting stuff there, and if you want a more in-depth breakdown of how Pantheon will work, I'll link a video down below. Next up though, on May 7th, Bungie will drop the PvP map pack, and that includes 3 new PvP maps which are available for all players. Firstly, there is Cirrus Plaza. This is a new map on Neomuna, but additionally, there'll be a new Europa map called Eventide Labs, and finally, we'll get a Pyramid Ship map called Dissonance. So some new real estate to play PvP on is always welcomed, but following that we get the final major beat for Into the Light, which will drop on May 14th in the form of the 0-hour mission. And the rollout for this is going to work very much in the same way as Whisper of the Worm, so on the first week, we'll be able to run the mission for the first time, and following that we'll get Outbreak Refined 1, and that's the quest that'll drop us the second perk upgrade, where we need to defeat Fallen in the Cosmodrome and claim inert Siva clusters, before toggling a pair of switches in 0 hour on Legend difficulty, and beyond that we need to simply complete the mission, and we'll get the perk upgrade. Then in the following 2 weeks, we'll get access to Outbreak Refined 2 and 3, and just in the same way that Whisper works, there'll be a 3-week process to fully upgrading the weapon and getting all of the perk options unlocked. So very much looking forward to that. Of course, after that, on the 4th of June, the final shape will drop, but there are a couple of additional bits for this update that we don't know dates for just yet. Firstly, there are going to be a handful of quests called Where is Archie? And these will be sort of weekly pursuits as far as we can tell, where we need to hunt down the mechanical dog with a series of quest hints, searching on different locations to find Archie, and each of those quests that drop upon completion will award 10 trophies of bravery, so it'll probably be a useful thing to get done. And finally, the other component that we're not 100% certain about, but is going to happen in this next couple of months, is the season finale for Season of the Wish. We won't go into too many spoilers, but it does include a new hidden mission that sort of wraps up the story component for the season and leans into the final shape. Plus there is a new cosmetic exotic reward for that, which is the Unforeseen Consequences exotic ship. And so while we don't have a date for that, an additional component of the season finale is something that is going to drop in the next couple of months, potentially after Outbreak Perfected has dropped on the 14th of May. Although it could be any time, so we'll simply have to wait and see. So there we go guys, that is the roadmap as we know it. Wanted to go into a bit more detail, especially considering there's anticipation for the Brave Weapon rollout and some of the other rewards in this mini season, if you like. So hopefully the video has been useful, and if it has, drop us a rating down below. Also let us know what you're most excited to pick up in the remainder of Into the Light. And on top of that, if you want to see more Destiny content and be kept up to date, be sure to get subscribed and hit the notification bell icon so that you don't miss out on any content. Otherwise though, cheers for tuning in, and whatever you get up to, I hope you have an awesome day.
Let's take a quick look at Outbreak as well while we're here hanging out in the Enclave. Tom, kind of, second verse, same as the first, same question. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the perks and updates that players will have available to them with their options to craft Outbreak Perfected?
Yep, and so in addition to barrels and mags, it has its classic Outlaw perk is back. So you get your fast reloads on final blows, which works really well with Outbreak. It's all about also landing precision hits to either spawn nanites or to kill enemies and spawn nanites and spread that Siva energy around.
Spread the plague.
Spread the plague. And then the second one, though, that we're added here is Rapid Hit, which plays right into that. So like you land your precision shots, you get more stability, you get faster reloads. Then another new one is Rewind Rounds.
It's hard for me to say. Fast. Yeah.
Try it out.
Yeah.
Which refills your reserves from to minimize your reload. So like if you're hitting shots, you're just going to keep getting more ammo, which is really kind of interesting.
Perpetual motion machine? No, perpetual death machine.
So yeah, it's like do you want the reloads, or you just want to keep shooting?
Yeah.
And then there's also a Head Seeker, which I think maybe for PvP or for certain play styles where like you're less focused on your critical shots. That's something to think about as well.
Right.
In terms of catalysts, if you already have them, you're golden. You can craft those. If you don't, play the Legend version of Whisper and 0 Hour, and you'll have a chance to get them.
Very cool.
So that's still in there.